All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is King Curry. We're Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we survived Barbenheimer. Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer.
We survived it. Christopher Nolan, Greta Gerwig. We survived the fourth biggest movie weekend ever in history. So yeah, especially when you look at original IPs, because the other ones were Infinity War, Endgame, Star Wars, Force Awakens. I don't know the order, but I know it's those three. And then you have this weekend with Barbie and Oppenheimer, which are both original stories. Well, I guess. Oppenheimer is not, but you know what I mean.
I was so about to buy a sweatshirt that says "I am Kenough."
I still want one. I want one.
I am Kenough.
Yeah. I am Kenough. Yeah, man. So we're gonna jump into Barbie. We'll get into some of the good, some of the bad. We might kind of flow in between them all, just because of. I'm pretty sure all of us like the movie, from what I understand in our message group. But yeah.
Let me read the synopsis of it.
Yeah, go for it. Break it down.
All right, I'm doing Barbie first, guys. Mm-hmm. Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives in the colorful and seemingly perfect world of Barbie land. However, when they get a chance to go in the real world, they discover the joys and perils of living amongst humans. That's the idea.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
And the budget for this movie was $145 million. They tripled that week one.
Yeah. I mean, it right off the bat, we'll say it is the number one opening weekend movie of the year. It took that title. Mm-hmm. It crushed it worldwide. It absolutely crushed the world. Like 3-something.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
335 or something like that.
Something along that.
Stupid.
Yeah. But even domestically, it made what 155, 160?
155.
Yeah. So yeah, this didn't just beat its predictions. It beat the record for the year. So yeah.
Barbie in one weekend is already number 11 for the entire year.
Yeah. After one weekend.
$356 million in one weekend.
Yeah. So it is a movie people are going to see. Barbie only needs 2.8 multiplier to reach 1 billion. Yeah. Most good movies need a 3.
That is crazy.
Yeah. It is. It started off great, and I don't see it ending anytime soon. I really don't. But we'll get a little bit more into the critics' reviews and a little bit more of the box office numbers at the end. But we'll start off with some of the good. What you got, Brandon? Some of the good stuff
for Barbie. First and foremost, like I said, I was sold on this movie when I heard that it was being written and directed by Greta Gerwig. I really like her as a newish director. Lady Bird, her version of Little Women. So when I heard she was doing this, I'm like, this has the potential to be awesome, and it was. I thought it was much better, much smarter, and much more layered than it really had any business being.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was very poignant. Poignant. Can't even say the word. But you know what I'm getting at. Ryan Gosling was hilarious. Completely stole the show as Ken.
He almost stole everything. Like he was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Margot Robbie obviously is. I've never seen a Margot Robbie performance I didn't like.
They were like, what they said in the movie, they said, if you want someone who's not going to look like a stereotypical Barbie, you probably shouldn't have cast Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Because at one part she's like, I'm ugly, and then like Helen Mirren, where's Andy Bush with again with Helen Mirren, but yeah, like she's like, oh, I'm so ugly, and then Helen Mirren's like, what do you say? No to casting. Margot Robbie's not the best character to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry, man. Get you off.
No. You're good. And I like the just kind of the meta, kind of subversive take they went for with it. It was an infinitely better movie than it had any business being. Then because this easily could have been trash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
But yeah,
depending who you ask.
it was. Say what?
I said depending who you ask. Some people think it is trash. So
Yeah. Mhm.
we all know this.
But no, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it on Blu-ray when it comes out.
Oh yeah, 100%. What you got, Brian? What's some good stuff?
There were times when I was looking at my children as they're watching it, and they were super enthralled. I have 2 little girls, an 8 and 6-year-old, so they're so completely enthralled. And then I looked to my left, and I saw my wife was sitting over there, and she had the same look on her face. And so that was really cool for me to see generations of people in having that look. And then as I was in the movie, I was realizing I was into this movie too, because it wasn't just this, it's not a feminist movie. It's not what that is. It's kind of understand who you are. Be good with who you are. And I thought that was great. But if you talk about good, Ryan Gosling, I didn't know I was going to love him this much. He was fucking awesome. I love him. Issa Rae was great. Kingsley Benadir, great. I think those are my 3. Well, Will Ferrell, Kate McKinnon were great too. I mean, everything they were in, they stole the screen. And I know Margot Robbie was great, but I feel like there's other people on the screen who took more. As soon as they were on the screen, they were better. Michael Cera. Every time Michael Cera did anything, it was awesome. The only thing my complaint is I didn't get more Michael Cera. I need more of that.
Yeah.
Great. I have to say they did a great job. Even the whole idea with Rhea Perlman, that was great. They just did a good job making the story when you didn't know what the hell they were going to do. Because they could just run out there, threw Margot Robbie out there, and not have any story, and it would have made $1 billion. Now they did it. They're doing it, and it actually has a story. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, this was like what Brandon said. It was so meta at times, and I love meta kind of jokes, especially when it's done right. And this one was the perfect way to do it right. Like there's a scene where she like floats down to her car, gets in her car, and like she's driving down the street, and it's like far away, and it's the actual dolls. They actually show like the dolls, and I'm like, it's funny, So, and just all the meta in it was so great, even like how the Barbies like envisioned themselves as like they made the world this great, because like when it got released in 59 or something like that, the doll like it was meant to be like a feminist, and a lot of people complain about the doll, like, oh, you can't show women that they can do stuff, so like back then it was a big thing, now you have the same people years later, decades later, saying the same thing, which is like funny, but not funny, it's annoying, but they were able to like talk about that, like how they're like, oh, we fixed the world, because like to them they're like, we showed women they could do whatever they want, but then they go to the real world, they're like, oh yeah, but then you see the other side of what maybe girls today might envision Barbie with, like Sasha, which is the daughter of America Ferrera character. And it was just like really interesting seeing like generations, where like America Ferrera's character, which I can't think of her name off the top of my head. Gloria, like how she had a different connection to Barbie than like her daughter, who's younger and I think probably teenager-ish, early teenager age, who has a different vibe because of social media and stuff like that. So it was like really interesting, like seeing all that, and then the ending for me was awesome, because it gave a good message, like, and him sing what's the name of that song?
I'm Just Ken.
The I Am Just Ken was pretty cool, but when the Matchbox 20 Push song,
oh yeah
oh, I was laughing, and I heard people singing it in the theater because like everyone knows, and then he did the whole like the like all the weird things that he does in the song.
Yeah, he was making the Rob Thomas noises.
Rob Thomas, he was making all the Rob Thomas. I was like, oh, it's hilarious, man. It was so great. And then and it's such a catchy song anyway. It's so annoying, and it fit perfectly. I thought the music was perfect. Yeah, the Ken song was great. So, which I did not go into a Barbie movie thinking it was gonna be funny like that and have a good message for everyone, not just like little girls, but I think for everyone. It had like a good message for young men too. You know, it was like, you know, and
Definitely.
you know,
Hey, don't follow girls around, man. Don't be doing that.
yeah,
You're Kenough. You're
enough. Yeah, but yeah, I thought that was like a super good message. At the end, I was just like, I'm like, oh, you know, it's about like self-love, self-appreciation, self-acceptance. You know, it was like,
don't say that. And then that first joke that they had in there. We're gonna have a beach off, guys. We're gonna have a beach off.
Which I thought that was so stupid. It was so funny. You know, even like the innocent kind of jokes where it's like, hey, I want to stay over tonight. Oh, what for? He goes, oh, because we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, what are we gonna do? He's like, I don't know. You know, it's like, it was so funny, man. It was great. Yeah, I did not expect it to like it like that.
She said, I don't have genitals. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, but just like the whole, you know, so many people are hating on Ken's thing. They're like, oh, they made him a dummy and stuff like that. But I was like, they made him ignorant, you know, like blissfully ignorant until he came into the real world and saw like the other side of his life. You know, it's like, you know, all these men in power, this and that. But he took it to the extreme, you know, which is always like a bad thing to do in any case. You never, go extreme like that. And it's just like funny seeing it like from somebody's point of view who's almost like a child, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really like everyone in Barbie land is like a child, you know, like all the Barbies think they changed the world. All the Kens think like all the Barbies love them because that's what they're meant to be. So it was fun. Just the whole pacing of it. I just thought it was great. All right. So let's see if we got any comments real quick. The real question is, which song will Barbie submit for best song? They just have I'm Just Ken, what it was made for, and Dance the Night. I think it'll be I'm Just Ken.
I'm Just Ken. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
I don't like What Was I Made For.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well,
and Dance the Night, I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
They're all dancing and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in the beginning. Yeah. You know, the I'm Ken was the song. That was the song for sure.
Yeah, it was this song's version, or it was this movie's version of Peaches, basically, you know?
Yeah. Which I don't get all the hate, like Bowser sung about like wanting Peach so bad, everyone loved it. And now he's singing about like not being appreciated, and you know, like, and he should be appreciated, which I don't know. It just like one was fun. They were both fun, but I think one had a more of a message. You know, yeah. I mean, obviously this whole movie had like a message, but I think a lot of people took the superficial messaging and just stayed at that level. When I think this movie has a lot more deeper kind of stuff about it. But also real quick, you guys talk about how good Ryan Gosling was. That man was insanely ripped. What? Like,
to you and me, but not to Brandon. Brandon thinks
I know Brandon's like, he goes, that's the mirror.
That's the Tuesday, man. What you talking about? This is what we do.
It was like, it was insane. I'm like, Jesus, man, that guys, you gonna break your hand touching his abs.
Like, dude was shredded.
It was insane. And the whole time I'm like, he must have felt like shit being that dehydrated. And the whole time I'm thinking that, I was like, he was so ripped. I'm like, like going through that water dehydration and shedding all that water weight to get that ripped for all the scenes.
Mm.
You know, he had to have been sick for like a week after.
Nah, but I think he probably lives his life that way.
Not like that.
I don't know, man.
I'm sure
you seen his wife?
Well, I know. I was like,
I'll be that rich for her. Yeah.
And Eva Mendes' wife, which I'm surprised she didn't show up in here, because like that would have been perfect. I mean, she's almost a Barbie anyway. She's like what, 50 still?
She's better than Barbie.
Insanely gorgeous.
She's better than Barbie.
All right. He was ripped in Crazy Stupid Love. Mm-hmm. He's always ripped. But this one was just
The Notebook. Like, I mean, come on.
The Notebook. Yeah. But yeah. All right. What do you got for some bad stuff, Brandon? I think about it.
Yeah. There was a lot about this movie I liked. I didn't even really think about that like too much. Like I said, as of right now, the worst thing that I can say about it is I really didn't like that Billie Eilish song. I just didn't. Um, but that's a good question. I'm gonna have to think on that a little bit
Yeah.
because I
All right.
thought pretty much for the most part, pretty much it's not a perfect movie by any means, but pretty much everything that they did I thought worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I may have to kind of think on that a little bit.
Okay. We'll come back to you.
Mhm.
What you got, Brian?
I want to say, yeah, the movie worked. Don't get me wrong. So anything I want to say is just nitpicking.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to say the Gloria Sasha thing wasn't at the top of my list of. I didn't have a great connection. I had more connection with the Barbies than I had with the real world, Gloria and Sasha. I mean, I saw Gloria caring about her daughter, and her daughter being an asshole because of all 12-year-old girls are to their mothers. Totally got it. But honestly, I was more connected to the Barbies than I was to her. It's almost like they didn't do enough to bring the audience in. Not that I didn't care, but even listening to my kids, listening to my wife, and noticing that.
Mm-hmm.
For all these other people to be able to steal the screen at those times, the person who's the I guess would be the human being in the story should be the one that you connect the most with, and that's not what happened. You did not get the connection from the human being more. You got more with Barbie, which is the title character, but all the Barbies, you connect with them more than you did with everybody else. That was one thing. Man, this is a good movie. It's
Mhm.
not like it's a lot of things, but if I was nitpicking, Will Ferrell should have been a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or they could have even highlighted more about the fact that all the men were working on Barbie even more. Like I think they could have done even more with that. But once again, that's nitpicking because it was done well. It
Mm-hmm.
really was.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
can agree about Sasha and Gloria. I had some trouble kind of connecting to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that you mention it, yeah, and just the stereotypical, like a kind of angry, rebellious teenager is kind of a trope
It's
that's
almost cliche. Like I was like,
Yeah.
okay, who the
yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Like, in my house, you talk to your mom like that, you get slapped.
Oh yeah.
So it's like there's no way, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is. It's a Barbie movie. It's that's what you want to have. But I don't know if all 12-year-olds are act that way. And depending on how you raise the girl, your daughters, they can still enjoy Barbie, especially when there's just you. She's not putting on a show for anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just little things like that just didn't necessarily hit with me having little girls and not seeing it that way. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's probably my one weakest part of the movie. Like it didn't take me out. It was okay. I didn't mind it in the beginning. I'm like, okay, this is okay. She's obviously very a trope, super, super tropey, like young teenage girl, like rebellious against her mom, hates, Barbies and anything, kiddie, and is like trying to grow up too soon and calling her like a fascist doll and this and that. Like, you don't even know what that means. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
so it's like a kid, saying words, especially in like today's, like age where, you have social media. So like words like that are like just everywhere. So it was like, okay, I just wish they had more of a closure, because like as the montage went on at the end, you saw her being more okay with her mom and stuff like that. But I just felt like the moment that they connected wasn't enough, so I was like, either make it all shorter and just make it real condensed, or give us a real ending with the humans. Like you said, it was just like,
Those should be the people that you connect most with because you see
should.
yourself.
Yeah. And when I started thinking about it, the first thing I thought of was like, I know Brian's gonna laugh, but it was Transformers because the worst, like, but this is all of it. The worst part of Transformers are the humans, you know, like you go to a Transformers movie and the Transformers are awesome. And then you're like, why is Shia LaBeouf here? You know, why is this person here? Why is that person there? It's like you didn't care about them anymore. You know what I mean? You wanted to see the things you're there to see, you know? So they kind of were doing that, but I feel like you need to have the human in there. I just feel like it wasn't horrible. It didn't make the movie bad. It just felt a little off, you know? So yeah, I just wanted their connection to be a little bit finalized towards the end of the film. But besides that, I think that's the only other.
Is it weird that my favorite part of the entire movie was that the older woman, when Margot Robbie looked at her and said, "You're beautiful," she looked at her and says, "I know."
That was great.
that was
awesome. That was awesome. I meant to look up. Is like, is that anybody important to like the Barbie world or anything?
Oh, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
She's awesome.
No, it was just a wholesome scene.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know that. So Jorge said Sasha, which is the daughter, was definitely a reference to Bratz dolls, literally having the same name and her friends matching the dolls' races. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Ashley said that she, you know, the reason this is in a box because she collects all the Bratz dolls. So now we won't have the Barbie. But she said, yeah, she was just a little Bratz doll. That's all it was. And she does match every single one of them. Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know that. And that's why like this movie had a lot of meta stuff into it, man. A lot of meta stuff into it. One thing that I really liked, I thought it was funny, and then I came home and I saw people losing their effing mind about it, was the Snyder Cut joke. I thought that was hilarious. It was funny. Yeah, it was a little dig, but you know,
get over yourself. Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah.
Like, oh well, that's what I'm me. I'm like me, no, but the people.
No.
I was like, what? You must have like start saying restart Snyder for so weird.
It seems hilarious to me.
Yeah. You know, and especially it all being Warner Brothers was really great too. It was fun, and it was funny. You know, like I feel like you got your movement, but if you like make fun of something and it's funny, it is what it is. But you know, them just getting upset about it just kind of like proves the point even more. And it was I thought it was just like, I don't know, a good little
harmless joke. People just need to stop being so easily hurt, all up in their feelings.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. So, or he said, Greta Gerwig said that the scene with the older lady was the heart of the movie. Executives originally wanted to cut that scene out. Yeah, I like that scene. It was funny, you know, because it was just like,
it was my favorite part of the whole thing. Yeah. And understanding, having that confidence in yourself, and now looking at Barbie as an icon or stereotypical person, we're realizing this woman who's gone through her life and done everything. She's done it all. She's had her kids. She's done all, and she's beautiful. That's what real beauty is, not what you see as stereotypical. I thought that was perfect in the movie.
Yeah. I liked it. And it wasn't anything crazy either. It was super quick, harmless, you know, but it had a lot of like impact. I thought, you know, that was a good moment. But yeah, just the whole too, like the executive scene, I thought was cool when she's up in the tower and you have all Will Ferrell and all the people in there. I thought that was great. And then did you guys notice in the background of like when you're looking out the windows, one of the buildings in the background was Warner Brothers Discovery?
Yeah.
I was like, really? Like, you got to throw that in there?
Why not?
I guess, like, hey, we own it all. So, so one thing before we move on to our ratings, did any of you guys want Will Ferrell's character to be a Ken?
No.
Because I felt I'm like, wow, how does he know so much? How is he kind of acting like how Ryan Gosling's acting, but like
I thought he was just trying to follow any tropes. Like as a CEO, like just I'm going to follow these people and say the things that they're saying because I'm going to try to pretend like I'm one of them.
Yeah, but that's what Ryan Gosling was trying to do. He was trying to be one of.
No, but Ryan Gosling was doing it for real. But if you ever met someone who's pretending like they're trying to be like the young people, that's what it was more like you're trying to pretend like you're a young person. You're doing the things because you're like trying to pretend that's who you are, instead of Ryan Gosling was just learning these things for the first time and doing and following them.
Yeah, like just like
Yeah,
like
as a child would be exactly as a child would. But Will Ferrell was just trying to pretend like he is that hip, but he is the CEO of the company, and those people that have the money that are running things do that all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. The more I thought about it, the more I'm like, that would have been something. It was like if he was a Ken that's been in the real world for a long time, because Barbie became, saying spoilers. Barbie became a real girl at the end. So I was like, so I wonder if a Ken could do that, and would it be the guy in charge of Barbie now? Because he knew all the secrets, he knew how to get back to Barbie Land, he knew everything. So I was like, how does he know this stuff? And I'm like, are they gonna say like he's a Ken from back in the day, that escaped and stayed in the real world?
But Ken's not that old.
I mean,
that's
when Ken come out? Yeah, they come out a while ago, right?
I mean, a while ago, like, you mean 92? Yeah, sure. But I mean, like,
no way. It had to have been, because I remember my sister playing with when Ken met Barbie was 1961. It was 2 years after the Barbie debut.
Ken as a Barbie doll?
Yeah.
Not just him as an entity, but as a Barbie doll?
Mm-hmm. Well, hit the toy aisle as Barbie's buyable boyfriend 2 years after the 1959 debut. Ken is short for Kenneth Carson.
It's like Barbara and Kenneth. Okay.
Yeah, Barbara and Kenneth. Blonde, brunette, blah, blah, hard plastic, came dressed in the very short red swim trunks. So, yeah. So I think that would have been like interesting because you had like the weird Barbie, which was awesome. So, but it also was into like real effect, it's like there was a Barbie that was played with too hard, which was super awesome. So I was like, well, what if there was a Ken that was like forgot about, and he made his way into the real world? I don't know. I just thought that maybe that would have been cool, but also like I wasn't. I was like, oh, that would be awesome.
all men to do that. I mean, I just think it would be even worse that he brought all men to run Barbie then too. Like, because all the men, because it's just
yeah. I mean, it was real life,
and then Kens are always blonde.
Yeah, well, he was gray. You say turn gray from being blonde.
Gray from blonde? Would you just go white?
I guess.
Where would you get black from to make it gray?
I
don't know.
What's that changing colors? Just the dead, isn't it? The dead, the lack of whatever chemical that is.
If you're blonde, if you bleach blonde and your hair goes white, it's white and yellow instead of white and black. Gray is literally white and black. So if you don't have black hair, you wouldn't be gray.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just thought that would have been something cool, but also at the same time, I didn't like it. It didn't like. I'm like, I needed it. I just thought if they went that route, But there is one thing I didn't quite like. That every time they brought up the pregnant Barbie, like everyone was like freaked out. They're like, I was like, you said like the old woman is beautiful, but like the pregnant woman is.
No, they just shouldn't have Barbie being pregnant for little girls. Thinking that because you didn't have a husband and you're trying to teach morals and all that stuff, and that doesn't fit what you want to have ideally. So that's I think that's why.
Yeah. Like they could have that route. And a few.
I just understand why there was only one overweight Barbie. There's like 50.
Yeah. I think they were pretty good with doing different kinds of Barbies, and they didn't really repeat themselves, quote unquote. I'm trying to think of like there wasn't like a overabundance of like blondes, like copies of Margot Robbie walking around. They're all very different.
Yep.
Yeah. So this was also awesome. One guy behind me busted out laughing seeing John Cena as Mermaid Ken. That was awesome.
That is great.
That is awesome. And then the whole story behind it is even better. So we'll talk about that later. But
maybe.
Yeah. To try to compete with Bratz, Mattel made hip hop inspired dolls called Flavas. Am I pricing on there? Flavas?
Yeah, Flavas. Really?
Yeah. Midge. The husband is Alan.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what.
You can roll with that.
Yeah, I love the Bratz movie. I'm so that's right. He posted it on our Facebook group.
Yep.
The Bratz
he
movie.
did.
All right. So with that being said, let's give it this rating. Where we at? All right. So here at Spoiler Kings, we do things a little bit different, nice and easy. Now, later, never. Now means we can watch it right now. Go watch it before it is spoiled. Later means you can wait till it's home, stream it. Never means just skip it. It is not worth it. Brandon, what are you giving Barbie?
Oh, this is very much a now. You know,
Mhm.
this had a lot of this was good stuff. I really, really enjoyed it. You know, like I said, Greta Gerwig really knocked it out of the park with how well written and smart that it was. In addition to being like legitimately hilarious, but pretty much everything in this movie worked. How was a Barbie movie actually good? I'm still wrapping my mind
Yeah.
around that.
Okay.
You know, easily a no.
Wait, Brian.
All right. I'm gonna give it a now, but I'm gonna tell you never go see it on a Friday night because you will be mobbed by little girls. So don't ever do that. But if you can avoid that, then it's a now. For a Barbie movie, literally every other character stole part of the show, and Barbie was good enough, was strong enough to allow them to do what they're doing while still being the glue that held it all together. And I think that was pretty important too. Letting, not saying look at me all the time, letting other ones step in front and take the lead, but still be strong enough, being a strong enough character to carry the movie. And I think that's really what you got. You got a movie that has all these stars and lets the stars be stars, but makes the title character be the title character. And yeah, definitely a now, and especially if you have little kids, both boys and girls will like it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm giving it a now as well. It's super funny, way more funny than I really thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be kind of like jokey. I don't want to say potty humor, but like kid humor, I guess. Yeah. It was very smart. It was very thoughtful. I thought the message that it ultimately delivered was great. You know, you have a lot of people talking, saying like, "Oh, it was just a feminist movie." I was like, it had points of that because it is Barbie. You know, I was like, you can't really do that, but it also had like other messages that were so much more deeper than that. You know, of just being you and like you don't have to like this person because you're supposed to, or I don't know. It just felt like very positive and learning how to be yourself and be comfortable in your own skin, you know. And I think the Ken character really is the one that showed that the most, but even Barbie and other Barbies and stuff like that. So even the humans, the, you know, quote unquote, you know, humans from the real world, you know, learn the lesson of loving themselves, you know, for who they are and stuff like that. So I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it and agree with Brian. Either go watch this early on a Friday or something, or maybe a late show, because we went to like a 6 o'clock show and we walked in and there was this like 3-foot, you know, pink minions running around like crazy. There's so many little kids, but yeah, definitely go watch it now. Yeah, I mean, legit theaters are being sold out for this movie. So, and then one last thing is Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Both the critics and the audience gave this 90%.
Yep, 90. Yep.
Yeah, which is crazy. So 338 reviews from the critics and 2,500 verified ratings from the audience. Both given 90%. So same thing, you know, a lot of them are saying, you know, Barbie's visually dazzling, which it is. We didn't even talk about the sets were amazing. Yeah, the sets, the comedy whose meta humor is smartly complemented by subversive storytelling. So yeah, it was kind of same thing what we said, but said better. Here's one last question: is it going to break $1 billion?
The question is it going to break $1 billion this month?
This month? It was like 2 weekends.
Like, that's the question. Not it's going to break $1 billion. We're going to be here next Monday. It's going to be at $520 million. You know, week 2, yes, it's going to break $1 billion. And It's going to do it easily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The world numbers are crazy. So
yeah.
imagine what's going to happen. Just
yeah. Cool. But I think that's it for the Barbie part of the Barbenheimer. Pronouncing that wrong. But yeah. I think that's it. Unless you guys got one last thing. I think you guys said you were good, right?
Time.
Yeah, it's time to move
That's
on.
about it.
Cool. So appreciate you guys. If you're watching us on replay, thank you for checking us out. Let us know in the comments what you think of Barbie. Are you hate it? Do you like it? Are you somewhere in between? Leave a comment. Let us know where you were at during Barbenheimer. So leave a comment and then also hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We are live every Monday and Thursday doing movie reviews, trailer reactions, and TV shows. But if you're watching live, stick around because we are going to move on to our next